Welcome to This Just In, the show bringing you the latest advancements in healthcare, strategy, innovation, and public policy. And now, for the fastest voice in healthcare, here's your host, Justin Barnes.
Welcome back to This Just In Radio Show, broadcasting live from the Georgia HIMSS Annual Conference in Atlanta, the health IT capital of America. I'm very excited to introduce my next guest, Ovie Mughelli from Ono Consulting, but also former NFL player. Great to have you on air again, my friend.
Hey, great to be here, man. It's an honor when I get a chance to join royalty.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
crazy. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. You know what? I'm getting old. I don't know what happened.
No.
Like my son is 10 years old, and I retired from the NFL 2012, so he wasn't quite here yet. And he's just now realizing that I was the guy who played with Michael Vick and Matt Ryan and Julio and everybody else.
Jackson?
Yeah, all these guys. And so he's now like, Daddy, let's play football. So every day we're outside, throwing the ball. And it's a blessing.
Yeah,
but like,
amen.
I have 3 kids who are in 3 different extracurriculars, and I'm all over the place. So I'm graying a little bit earlier than I want to, but it's a blessing. Yeah.
It is. And you also come from a healthcare family. Your father, yes.
Is an OBGYN.
Yes.
My sister's a psychiatrist, and I was a failure at first because my dad is he wanted all 4 kids. He wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah.
I told him I was going to go to the NFL after college rather than med school.
Yeah.
My sister made it hard for me, and she went college to med school. Like, all right, great. All right, next. And I said, Dad, I want to try this football thing. He's like, why would you play stupid American football? I said, Dad, that's I wanted to try it out.
Yeah.
I said, it probably won't last a year or 2, and I'll go back to med school. 10 years later, I was still there.
You went to Wake Forest?
I did. In fact,
right.
I just got inducted to the Wake Forest Sports Hall of Fame.
Amen.
So it was a huge honor.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. You were the keynote speaker last year, so very cool from that. Tell us a bit about that. So what you spoke about was a little bit of CTE, but also what to do post your NFL career. And talk about a second about that.
Yeah, no, it's just a lot of guys who play the wonderful, violent sport of football. They are not fully aware of what happens after the game. And they're not aware of some of the changes that occur in their mind and disposition overall to where they can at least try to find ways to alleviate them. They just go throughout life and they wonder sometimes why they have a little bit harder time breaking down things. And we're just about, you can't fix what you don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And so getting tested, making sure we don't wait for something bad to happen or for us to see any signs or symptoms. Everyone should get tested if you play a sport like football at that high level. So we were just trying to make sure that the educational services were out there and that players knew, and even people who weren't players who had any of these symptoms, go get tested, understand where you stand, and then you can find solutions if necessary.
No, fantastic. And then we first met was through Rutherford, Seidel.
Yeah, my buddy.
Event. Yeah, so it was I guess the Captain Planet event. Yes. So that was kind of the first time. I guess that was like 5 or 6 years ago.
It was a while back. Like him and his wife Laura have been good friends of mine. It was cool to have. We had Laura and Rutherford at my wedding, and they've just stayed friends because they were a key part of me growing up when I came to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And my kids were, unfortunately, they were born early, premature, lungs weren't fully developed. They were in the NICU longer than I would have liked, and part of that was because the air quality in Atlanta wasn't safe for them. Right. And me as I just signed a contract for $18 million, and I'm, with the Falcons, and I'm, man about town, hang out with like guys I watch on TV, T.I., Ludacris. I'm with Outkast. I'm living my life, living my dream. And my kids can't even leave the NICU because I never was even aware or concerned about the environment, air quality, anything sustainability related. So I'm like, I want to be a good father. I want to understand this whole space. And, billionaire Arthur Blank got me with billionaire Ted Turner, who got me with his daughter. And I have been able to do some exciting and amazing things in the green space using sports to promote sustainability. Yep. And so that's how I got to Rutherford, and that's how I got to you. So,
yeah. Well, I talked to Rutherford yesterday and Laura last week.
Okay.
So, yeah, very, very special people. Married near and dear. So it's kind of cool that our paths continue to cross in that regard. And now they cross in healthcare.
They do.
Which is very cool. Tell me, what's your goal for being here today? And then also your attribution outside your family in healthcare to be here today in technology.
So healthcare and technology, it's so very important. Again, being a doctor's kid, I got a chance to see it up close and personal, the good, bad, and unfortunately the ugly. Mm-hmm. And just watching my dad do what he did as an OBGYN, he delivered over 10,000 babies in 45 years, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I told Dad, like, I can't touch that. Me
Yeah.
entertaining some people in the NFL world cannot touch that.
Right,
But
right.
it gave me, even though I didn't go to med school, a bug. It gave me an itch I wanted to scratch in the healthcare space, because the work that is done here, the work that HIMSS does, it's so important, because your health truly is your wealth.
Amen.
I'm blessed to live, you know, in a nice neighborhood. I got people with, you know, $1, $3, $5 million houses. In a second, they would choose their health over their wealth.
Absolutely. So
I got
true.
teammates who, you know, played in front of millions, you know, made, you know, $100 million contracts. After that, I talked about CTE, talked about some of these injuries where they trouble walking, trouble remembering who their kids' names are. They absolutely trade their health for their wealth.
Absolutely.
And so
Great point.
if that's something that we can do here with HIMSS, that's something I can do in the healthcare space.
Yep.
That's why I work here. That's why I go to bed at night, you know, feeling good about the time I'm spending trying to give people better benefits, you know, more resources, options, and just a chance to do what I think every human being wants, which is to live a happy, healthy life.
So I'll give you props that I did not bring up this before, because it didn't
Sure.
even resonate with me until recently. The panel that you're on here, I probably only remember 5 keynote panels my entire life.
Okay.
Yours is one of them.
Well, thank
Talking
you.
about what you go, your panel, and then also the way that the NFL is approaching with AWS, they're
Yes.
approaching predicting athletes' injuries in advance, trying to keep them from getting injured. It resonated with me in a whole different way.
Yeah.
Because you just talked about trading, you know, your wealth for your
Health,
wealth with health, for sure, because you don't, you know, money can only bring you so far, but your health gets you everywhere, gets you along. So that's exactly what that organization and your panel was talking about.
Yep.
And then using AI and using technology and innovation to be able to, you know, look for where the injuries can happen and how do we avert that. So in the future. So it's actually very special.
Well, I appreciate that. And again, you know, shout out to him, shout out to Seppi, all my friends and family here. It's been great, because sometimes you can't throw more money at a problem. You only have a limited amount of resources. But if you can use innovation, you can use technology, you are able to accomplish so much more, reach so many more people, and, you know, find real solutions. And so that can't happen if innovation doesn't exist. Like I remember my father, and it was after I retired from the NFL. I told my dad, like, Dad, you got to get all your records to electronic. He was like, no, I'm using old school, like paper record. I was like, Dad, like he's super old school. Like he's a very stubborn, wonderful Nigerian man who was like, this is how I've done it. This is how all my friends do it. I'm not changing. I was like, okay. And so when I was able, me and my mom, his wife, were able to convince him that EMR, which was, it took a while to hit with everybody. It could be not only help for him, but profitable. He didn't believe it fully, but when he trusted us, we did it. It changed everything. Good. So there's like small examples of that throughout all of healthcare, and it starts in rooms like this.
Amen. Very, very true. Well said. So Ono Consulting, tell me, so what do you guys do, and how can this community benefit from Ono Consulting, and tell me about your journey there.
I had to, like I tell my son, I was like, try all the sports and figure out what you love. Like, even though, you know, I play in the NFL, I don't want him to just do football. I told him to try baseball, soccer, you know, fencing, track, tennis, whatever. And he still haven't figured out what he wants to do, and that's fine. When I got in the healthcare space, I didn't quite know what I wanted to do. I did everything from working with a private equity company that was dealing with full risk value-based plans and going to primary care practices and switching them from fee-for-service to value-based. I worked for stem cell companies, wound care companies, genetic testing, toxicology, you name it. And I kind of settled down and found like where I feel like I make the most impact, and where I'm, you know, the happiest in the benefits world. Part of it is because my wife, you know, has all her licenses and has been working in health and life insurance and benefits. And I'm like, you know what? How about I just work with you? Not always a good thing to work with your wife, but in our case, it's been great. So Ono Consulting, like, we're just a benefits consulting firm, and we help small, medium, large businesses understand how to navigate that, because the broker world can be interesting, and and unfortunately, most times, politics gets involved to where companies aren't doing what's best for their finances and their employees. They're doing what's best for their relationships. And relationships are important,
Right.
but the relationships with your employees are more important than getting your frat brother or your the chairman of the board's nephew that gig.
Yeah.
And so we want to just get them transparent pricing, transparent options, and find ways to make sure that they're able to achieve their goals, whether it's in the supplemental space, a group health space, or in these wellness programs.
Yep. Well, transparency in healthcare is critically important, and you're not talking about small dollars either.
No,
obviously,
my
healthcare
gosh.
costs are significant. It's actually outside the employee cost, the second largest expense for the business.
Absolutely, and
So,
your people are your most important resource.
Amen.
And
Right.
I use the little bit of celebrity I have left to get doctors to let me do one important thing, which is to do side-by-side comparisons.
There you go.
I always tell them, if you are with the best group
Yep.
health, supplemental, whatever, you shouldn't be afraid. They shouldn't be afraid
Exactly.
to pull back the curtain
That's
and
right.
see just how much are you being charged for, how much is the upcharge for this generic drug?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to pay that much.
Right.
You realize we can keep the same doctors, the same network, but when it comes to stop loss, your TPA, with your
There you
PBM, we're able to put them through different pathways and get you so much savings. So unless you just want to pay more,
Right.
let's just have a conversation.
Amen.
Let's pull the numbers and let's see, what's best for you, because opportunity is everything. I told people when I got to the Wake Forest Hall of Fame, I told them that I didn't choose Wake Forest. Wake Forest chose me. They were the only school that gave me Division I opportunity, and I ended up being All ACC, All American, 10-year All-Pro. But if I didn't get the opportunity, I wouldn't have been any of that. So I say, I want to have an opportunity to show you that I can help you in the healthcare arena. I can help you group health, supplemental wellness. And that's fine if you told me I don't win.
Right.
I don't mind losing, but don't say I can't compete in the race and
That's
then
right.
I lost.
Amen. Very, very true. So in closing, last questions.
Yes.
How those Falcons doing?
Oh my gosh.
And your podcast there.
Oh, so
Go
you
Beavs?
know,
What's-
Believe in Falcons.
Believe, yeah.
BLEAV, not
Yeah.
believe how you spell it. Believe in
Yeah.
Falcons. So, it's not me. ChatGPT can do it right now. Who's the best fullback in Falcons history? It's me. Like I'm it. I'm the best fullback in Falcons history. Who's the best tailback in Falcons history? That's one's a little more arguable.
Yeah.
But I'm biased. Michael Turner.
Yeah.
You have the best fullback in Falcons history, the
Yeah.
best tailback in Falcons history, and together the best running backs.
Yeah.
We have a podcast called Believe in Falcons.
Yeah.
We talk about Falcons football from a unique point of view, but we also are able to get current players on there, and Bijan, Jesse Bates, Wake Forest alumni.
Yeah.
We've talked to coaches, and we just give fans who know this team is too good
Right.
to be just 2-2
Right.
the confidence to understand that we're destined for greatness. So come, give us a like and follow, subscribe.
Absolutely.
We got 40,000 YouTube subscribers. Believe in Falcons. We're going to be right there with you as we go on the road to the Super Bowl. Hopefully.
Ovie,
Yeah.
Great, my friend. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.